I think what I like best about the Campfire Flyers is just watching them work. It's just pure science and physics interacting with the fire, and it's really kind of magical.
Carl and I were driving across the country on our way to the East Coast, and for some reason I just started thinking about the heat coming off of a campfire. We came up with these idea of dragons, that the wings are powered by the updraft of the flames.
And when we were thinking about this, it's like, well, what can we do with it? And it's like, well, a fire pit, and of course that fire pit had to be a castle on fire.
We came up with the idea a couple of years ago and didn't do anything with it. And then when COVID happened, we had some downtime. Said, okay, I'm gonna play around with it. And we did a prototype and it worked. And we thought, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. We put a little 20-second video on my personal website, saying, oh, this is what Carl and I are working on. In a couple of days, we had like 200,000 views and 5,000 shares. And I thought, oh, maybe we have something here.
The first one worked great and the proof of concept was there, and then the next 50 didn't. And we've been cutting and recutting and reforming and hand forming and figuring out all of the details and doing all the social media and the networking and the Kickstarter and the campaign. It's been a lot different than what we usually would do.
When I'm building my normal kinetic sculptures, it's all one of a kind, and I don't have to worry about reproducing things. When you are making it mass production, you have to make it industrial friendly. You have to think of the types of machines it would take to make certain parts, how they're made, what's an efficient way to have them made.
When we were researching this project and doing the patents and everything, there's nothing really to go with a fire pit other than a fire pit. So to have something that's purely for beauty and aesthetics to interact with the flames and the fire is pretty unique and pretty new.
The site where my studio is now used to be an old industrial site. It overlooks the Otter Tail River just above the Pisgah Dam, so it's a beautiful location, and my wife and I were trying to figure out what to do with it. And then a good friend of mine, Scott Wagnall, said, my new son-in-law is a good brewer. Think about doing a brewery? Sure, why not? So that's how we ended up with Fergus Brewing here. So we cleaned up the old industrial site, put a lot of work into that, put a new roof on the cool building to make it look better, and built a big deck on it.
The brewery has been a lot more work than I expected, but it's also been a lot of fun. When you step back and look at it and you see how much we've done, it's really quite remarkable.
The deck on the building is one that Carl and I actually designed and built. It's a steel deck, so it was kind of pushing the limits for us, but again, it was fun doing that. In the last few years, I've been doing a lot more large-scale stuff. My son and I together did a really large piece for a candy store in Las Vegas on the Strip.
I think it's probably been the most fun I've had my entire career doing this. It worked on a scale that was just bigger than life. It produced lots of challenges, and I can't wait to do another one.
When we got it there, we installed it in the middle of the night because that's the least traffic. They had a gigantic crane that lifted this thing up hundreds of feet in the air. All of a sudden you start thinking about welds. Is that weld good enough? Is that gonna hold up there and not come crashing to the ground? And it was fine, but nerve-wracking. live an artist dream life. I'm getting calls from all over the world, which just surprises me. In the last month or so, I've gotten calls from a museum in Dubai, a pizza place in India, someone in Hong Kong. How they find out about me, I'm not even sure, because I don't advertise there or anything like that. They just find it on the internet and say, hey, we want you. I would say in my career, I'm in my mature phase. I'm constantly working on things that probably people won't even notice, how things are put together, how the machine itself actually works. But the look of it is something I'm very happy with.
I do consider this the family business, and I can't say whether I'm glad he got me into it or not, because it's all I've ever known. I was raised at the arts festivals that my father and mother went to, and my work was heavily influenced by my father early on. And as time has moved on, I have kind of developed my own style and my own voice and my own work. This is the Endless Road Trip. This one's been a lot of fun. It's a little bit different than my usual stuff, but it's one of my favorites. And this is actually the 70th model piece I've made, which is probably why it took 9 months, is because like if it was piece number 68, it wouldn't have worked the same.
I think it's brought us closer together because we're working with each other all the time. My son is an amazing engineer, and I don't know if he even knows how amazing he is. The things he can put together and how they work dovetails well with me and some of the things that I do. It just makes it more interesting.
It would help if you get it all the way back here, because we'll have more to pull on. Oh, good. Working with my dad is fun. We do have our father-son squabbles, but I'd be surprised to find a father-son team that doesn't. I've circled this globe a few times now, and the number of people I've found that think like my father are very few. It's a lot of fun to be able to work with him, to have him come over and look at ideas and figure things out, and have somebody that thinks like I do, and that's something really special.
Postcards is made possible by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota. Additional support provided by Margaret A. Cargill Philanthropies, Mark and Margaret Yakel-Julien on behalf of Shalom Hill Farms, a retreat and conference center in a prairie setting near Windham, Minnesota. On the web at shalomhillfarm.org. Alexandria, Minnesota, a year-round destination with hundreds of lakes, trails, and attractions for memorable vacations and events. More information at explorealex.com. The Lake Region Arts Council's Arts Calendar, an arts and cultural heritage funded digital calendar showcasing upcoming art events and opportunities for artists in West Central Minnesota. On the web at lrac4calendar.org. Playing today's new music plus your favorite hits, 96.7 Cram. Online at 967cram.com.